Yes, you're welcome to today's program. We're sorry we are coming this late. It's due to some technical hitches. We're dealing with technology. There are some, like the cameras we use in the studio, we can't walk around them, we can't force them. They are high sensitive equipments, and you have to give them that leeway. For your information, this one works with the network. So the network just decided to play fast one on us. Be that as it may, once more, for those of us who are just coming on this program for the first time this year, we want to wish you Happy New Year. It's going to be a great year, I can assure you. But becoming a great year is in your hands. So let's walk around it. God will help us. And that's what the package we have today for you. It's going to be a great one. How this year will be a better one for you. We are not here to do motivational speeches. We want to talk to you realistically, practical things that will make you turn things around for yourself. That is what we intend doing. I am Wale Ogwande, your host on this program. And of course, the name of the program is Voters Forum. You can to us or be with us and be part of this program by just going on the social media, all of the social media platforms, or even you can go to the Google Play Store and of course hit the Galaxy app, and of course you are good to go with us online read time. Of course, if you are around your house, call your friends so that you enjoy it and join us in this conversation. It's going to be a great and interesting debate today. Don't go away. We'll just go on a short break. Then when we come back, then of course we'll get cracking.
In 2024, the nation's economic landscape has been shaped by a confluence of challenges that has impacted major indicators, from the persistently high inflation rates driven by escalating cost of goods and services, the implementation of tight monetary policies to stabilize prices. The nation has grappled with an unstable currency compounded by foreign exchange scarcity, which created uncertainties for businesses and investors.
And said that there may be a very good policy, but the timing is a bit not very good. And not very good in the sense that it comes at a go. It would have been a face-to-face policy. It would have been a policy that will start one after the other. One, if you throw one and we are able to cope with it, then you can also come out with another one, and so on and so forth. Bringing them together at the same time suggest the unreadiness or unpreparedness of even the government on this policy. We cannot just do all at the same time.
Those policies are good, as a matter of fact, but implementation is the major problem, because you cannot just come up with series of policies without measuring the performance of those policies. I think that is one problem with this administration, and that is exactly what I observed right from the beginning of this administration, that started with removal of oil subsidy without considering certain factors that will determine whether it will succeed as a policy or not. For example, in the area of oil subsidy removal, we supposed to have done that long before now, but there must have been a kind of motive before we introduce it.
Issues with the Nigerian economy that Bola Ahmed Tinubu president must understand. One, he had no business devaluing our currency and devaluing all of us into poverty. That is purely his administrative and government decision. And it is imparting all of us. He has himself and his fourth-rate finance people, Cardoso and Edo, to blame for that. Because if they were not fourth-rate, they ought to have known that the devaluation of the currency of any nation to the level that they did it will injure the savings of the nation. And any nation where its citizens have no savings cannot contribute effectively to development and production. Where would they even get the money?
Speaking further, they express optimism about the economic outlook of 2025. They also want government to support initiatives that will enhance food security, improve rural culture, and expand agricultural value chain.
Should consider the masses in every policy is doing, and if we come out with any policy, it should be a masses-oriented policy, a policy that will help the masses. I know it's trying to deliver the country from a very few individuals that are really extorting from the country. I want a Nigeria where everybody will enjoy the dividends of democracy. And so that's one at the back of his mind in anything he's doing. The masses should be his priority. Everything he's doing, all he will be doing, is to make sure that he did not lose the focus on the masses that he promised to help.
Fine. The tax reform that is causing controversy presently is a good policy. But there is need to make sure that all the stakeholders understand these policies. One, most of small, medium companies, they are paying double tax or multiple tax. You can put it that way. This is what is responsible for untimely death of majority of them. If there is a way all the stakeholders can equally make serious contribution to this present tax policy and it is accepted, well implemented, most of small, medium planes will come up. Foreign investors will come in too if the tax is reasonable, and that will help our economy.
The expectation from Nigerians will be that the economy rebounds quickly for good of all. From Abeokuta, Ogun State Capital, John Felix report for Galaxy Television News.
What a great report by John Felix. Of course, it has already set the tone and it's for our discussion this day. And one I want us to know is that this program is a little bit interesting. That is going to be an interesting one because we want to encourage you that you should be a spectator in this country. You and I have a stake in this country, and the earlier we take it on, the better. The various past years when we have democracy and we're practicing democracy, generality of the people, many of the people, the majority of the people have become docile and careless. They are not interested in the dividends of democracy. They are not interested in what happens in government. They give the people who run government a blank check as it were. So those ones just run shove over us and do whatever they like. They carry out, they bring out a budget and nobody cares how the budget is run. And for information, the problem of this country is about budget implementation. Don't worry. I have guests in the studio who are going to treat these issues and give us, tear it down to the basics so that we have an understanding, so that all of us will even become born again. So how is it? Mind you, we are not this program is not for you to protest violently, but for you to protest positively, to ensuring that you get what rightly belongs to you. Hold our political leaders accountable, and of course to ensuring that they make life easy for us. I will introduce our guest in no particular order, but very first on my left, Malam Ishaya Ibrahim. He is the news editor, The Niche.
Yes, thank you so much.
And I have with me a colleague, Mr. Victor. He is a political analyst, a publisher, and of course, a groundsman around here.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
I thank you because you have the courage to come and recite your exams.
It's not
so you can be sure that today, by the grace of God, you are going to pass. If you don't pass, you're coming back again.
We are prepared very well.
You are prepared very well.
Yes.
So God will help you.
No more repetition.
Yes, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, if you remember in our intro, particularly our theme songs, we want to discuss the real solutions today to our problems. Over the week, my mind has been going. If I did not take steps in my life, will I be here? If you do not take steps, think about it very well. And those of us watching, if you did not take steps of leaving one level, going to another level, you can't be in this, you won't be here.
Yes.
If you come, even let's look at it. It's because you made something, you contributed very well that we said, next week we must have you. If you didn't do well, we ask you questions, you are not there, the management will tell us, don't call you at all again. There are several people that had the opportunity like this and they flunked it and they are never called. So where am I going? We are here because that's Nigeria, because many of us refuse to talk. Many of us refuse to take steps. Many of us refuse to be proactive. Many of us, we refuse to be organized. Rather than being organizing ourselves, we are busy agonizing. And agony cannot take us anywhere. So the question, Madam, is that why is it that year in, year out, January, February, there will be hopes. By March, April, May, June,
the hope fizzles out.
Why, sir?
Yeah, normally human being is positive in his when he looks forward to any situation. So, as at December, people were having all kinds of expectations for the new year.
Yeah.
But that expectation ought to be backed by certain actions that will make whatever plans you have realistic. It is not just to utter empty words that this year will be good for me, but what have you put in so that the year will be positive? So as a human being, for instance, I give myself some targets that to self-improve, I have decided on the number of books or the kind of books that I need to read, the trainings that I need to attend, the kind of investments that I want to I mean, even when you are doing certain things, you ought to be increasing them. You cannot just be on that same level and repeating the task. My late friend, colleague friend, Junaid Mohammed from Kano, were very much always interacting while he was alive.
That great comrade.
Yes. He said, while he was critiquing the Buhari government at one time, he said it is better to make a decision that is bad and then there's opportunity to correct it than make no decision at all. So his challenge with the government then was that decisions were virtually not taken. It appears as if we were on autopilot, which makes it a very bad case. So individual level, we cannot afford to live our lives on autopilot. It has, at every time, we must be making inputs to be sure that we are going at the direction that we ought to be going. If we're not going at that direction, we must make changes and we must fine-tune and make sure that we do the necessary adjustments so that we can achieve what we set out to achieve.
My brother Victor, your input in this concerning people being stagnant or just careless about their lives, then expecting manna to fall, particularly the new year. You can be sure, you go to church on the 31st day crossover, the popular crossover, you see many New Year resolutions. When it is March, April, May, June, or August, you see people looking disillusioned. If you go out now, you see people being active, hopeful, and of course strong that yes, this year is going to be, particularly we in our own part of the Pentecostal church, we are looking at a landmark activity in our lives. So, how can we measure this in terms of people's expectation? We are still going to the core. I just want to look at it personal so that we will people up.
Yes. For one, when you move around across Nigeria or Lagos in particular, You find out that Nigerians are not people that are docile. People, they are not weak people. They are not lazy people.
Yes.
They are not people, because I'm not here to, I will not come here and begin to blame people unnecessarily. I'm a realist.
Yeah.
When you go around, you see active people.
Yeah.
You see an old woman of 70 years, 65 to 70 years, carrying pure water to sell. That is not a sign of people. That is not a sign of lazy people. You see, when you go to the bus stop, you see Okada, before you get there, one has a back color you, and they have kick-started the machine. That is not a sign of weak people. You see a young man who has graduated because he doesn't want to just waste his time or be a body, hiring a motorcycle or tricycle at the cost of a tricycle now is about 3.5. A motorcycle now is about 1.5 million. And we buy it on higher purchase so that it can feed family. I can't describe such a man as a weak person or as a lazy person.
Yes.
If I do that, that means I don't have conscience.
Yes.
So Nigerians, what am I trying to bring out? Nigerians are hardworking people.
Okay.
Very hardworking. Okay. Because if the way Nigerians are hardworking, if we have government policies that support them, will be greater than America's.
Okay, then let's quickly go there. Now that you have put your hand on it, government policies.
Yes.
Because that's where I'm going really. That the docility of Nigeria does not allow the government policy to work. I'm a right activist, and to all intents and purposes, what we want is for things to have a human face. If things don't have human face, particularly policies of government, then definitely it is not for human beings, but it is for robots.
Yeah.
And where am I going? And the question again is directed to you, Victor, is that you see that government policy is not in your tune as a Nigerian, as a citizen. What is the step you ought to take? Don't forget that you see people that you voted into office and government officers, both politicians and civil servants, living opulent, living a luxurious life, living an outlandish lifestyle, and you are there. You go better. That's not the issue now. We want dividend democracy. How can that be done? So as to allow these policies, these things that you want to say now, to now percolate to the people. How can it be done?
Yes, it is by speaking out. One, you speak out. You don't become an ethnic bigot.
Okay.
Say because my brother is there, whatever he does is right.
Okay.
That can never promote growth and development.
Yes.
When you say because my brother is there, whatever he does is right.
Yes.
That is the problem that we have currently.
Okay.
In the past, we find out people were protesting peacefully. Nobody was shot dead. Today now the narrative, what we are hearing is that don't protest. If you protest, it will be hijacked. The question we are asking, why was it not hijacked in the previous government? Why is it that we are being told that a protest will be hijacked? But we have been protesting, even under the military we protested. So citizen must...
I'm a protester.
Yes, citizen
From
must...
time immemorial, protest has always been hijacked. So that's no story. It's just a narrative to cow some people down.
Well,
I have been involved. Well, I just want to confirm what you just said. I've been involved in protests for God knows when. Ever since I've been a kid. For information, I was involved in the Ali Mongo protest. As small as I was, maybe I was 14 or 5 years or 10 years old then. I was involved, and God bless the of Shegun Ogewu. He was a protest leader. He was the president of the Nigerian Association. That's when Nance was very strong, a strong body that had a voice. So, and of course, in between, you see, all these guys will join us, the other guys join us, and they will hijack it and so on. I remember Legoma House
yes,
in Ikorodu Road. The protesters were the one who burnt it down. It was these boys, these other guys who went and burnt it down. So it has always been. It is the duty of the state to now
ensure that
strategies to ensure that protests are not hijacked. Yeah. We are talking of protests then during the military era. Now we are in a civilian era, and the constitution that we run that day, the government people, both the president and the policemen, all of them when they are taking their oath of office, swore to protect. They cannot against it now begin to bring out something. Any judge Papa who sits on such issues is just going against the constitution. And that's why you see that there is a APC and Buhari and IG something had a situation of the court saying that no court can ban any protest, and the police itself have no right to ban any
protest. They
what
have to
they can
protest.
do is to protect, not to prevent. So I just want to bring that one out so that we know what we are doing. Nobody can be led by the nose in this country. So if you want to bring out any narrative, police are always the tool to, of course, to ventilate us. If
checkmate the essence of government.
Checkmate the essence of government. So that is established. Where we are going today is that we are not promoting violent protest. What we want is people to voice out their grievance rightfully for the government to know that things are not happening right. The other day, we are looking at people like NDS, the Nigerian Security and Defense Corps. ID card, the ID card. If we want to look at the amount of money that they have generated for government, it's not a small thing. We had the business to do there yesterday, and when going there, one of my lawyers said, these people, if you need to see their office. I say, yeah, they are making money, so they have to spend money in that office. And you can imagine that's just one government agency that has a lot, that generates a lot of money. Where I'm going is that government has the money government generates is enough to make people happy. So why are people suffering? That's the question I want to ask.
Yes, people are suffering because they are not making much demand on government, and the government is obstinate. The government is obstinate because the other time.
Is there a way that government can be, people can organize themselves instead of agonizing?
There's a way. That is why we are speaking up. They should speak up too. They should not take sides because my brother is there, everything is right. No, that is not the way to go. But government itself should know that we are in democracy. When we have democracy, the government must listen to the people. For instance, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said that whether we protest or not, he will go to revert the subsidy that he has removed. But when him and his group protested under Jonathan, he reversed it. That is how democracy used to be, because it is not a military regime. It is only a military regime that are very hardy because they came in through the gun. But the people vote for you. When people have voted for you, you should not punish them for voting. Look at the issue of subsidy removal now. What have we gained from subsidy removal? The money
is all right. Sorry, so that he too will have a bite on it.
Okay.
This subsidy removal, is he for or against the interest of the people?
In the first place, every country all over the world provides one form of subsidy for its people. In the US, it is agriculture, food, that they channel most of their subsidies to. Even energy. Even energy. There are states in the US that have a little cheaper fuel than Nigeria. Farouk Berogi made that point in one of his articles. So it is not true that subsidy is like over pampering the people. No, it is the people's wealth that you are using to make life easy. And the beauty with subsidizing energy is that it boosts productivity.
And the economy.
So, and the economy. The cost of doing any kind of things in Nigeria now is very expensive. We were discussing backstage with Victor how so many shops have been closed. The simple reason is because cost of doing business, the basic cost of energy is almost unaffordable for small scale businesses. So I expect a situation where the government, because subsidy is gone, that's what the president said, there's nothing we can do about it, so we shouldn't cry over spilled milk. But can you bring subsidy in another area that is critical to our survival? If subsidy on fuel is gone, but subsidy on electricity can come.
Sorry, sir. I wanted to bring another fresh intervention. What's the name of this guy that was killed by the black guy that was killed by the American police? Floyd.
George Floyd. George Floyd.
He said, "I want to breathe." But unfortunately, the policeman did not allow him to breathe. We want, and he died in Nigeria before we die. What can be done just prefer this solution to the government.
Now,
I'm sure they are not deaf.
they are not.
This is a new year.
The government has its own role. Nigerians have their own rules. You know, we're talking about what should the Nigerian do. The Nigerian must be educated on civic issues, things
rights
that involve you.
Yeah.
You must be knowledgeable on every discourse around the government, because we're talking about our commonwealth here. So you cannot afford to leave it
blank
to those who are elected. Some of them manipulated their way into office, so they are not really representing you, they are representing their godfathers. So exactly.
I wish we have time to discuss that man that was unable to move a motion. The floor of the National Assembly.
So you have
big national disgrace.
You have so many of them like that. So many of them at different strata, at the local level where you have the councillors, the chairman, the assemblymen. You have so many of them. So they are actually not representing you. The only way you could represent yourself is to be very, very vast with the issues. And if you're vast with the issues, then you can make informed decisions. You can actually engage them with knowledge. The challenge that the communication we have on the social media is that it is actually not well articulated.
Yes,
and then the leaders take it for granted. Even the protest that we're talking about, the protest was also sabotaged by the high level of illiteracy in the society, especially in the north, in Kano, for instance. Otherwise, why would you be looting fellow citizens' shops if your problem is that things are tough and then you are making it tougher for your neighbor?
I want to pick something again, and that is very, very important. I'll still bat with you, then I'll come back to him. That's the cost of doing business. You wanted to go there, but you abandoned it, and they want to pull you back. Is there no way? Because in other countries, government intervene in bailing out businesses so as to boost the economy.
Yes.
And once the economy is boosted, obviously people will have an opportunity to bring,
to get jobs,
and to
cost
services
will be a bit affordable.
Where I'm going is that what can government do, or is it impossible? All the funds, government has several surplus funds, and to me it's a simple thing. I have the opportunity of heading organizations around there, and I know that government can just mark, and of course they know how to do it because these politicians are interested. Mark throughout the 36 states of the federation, maybe identify 100,000 business persons. That's 3.6 million all over. Mark, look at them. These three business persons, look at the business they do. Then, of course, give them money, and of course, with monitoring. There is a bank, maybe Bank of Industry, Bank of Industry, or Bank of Commerce, and something. There is another bank and of infrastructure. There are institutions there that will guide all these things, including the Bank of Agriculture. There are so many there that will guide them, and of course, monitor the way they spend. They may not even release the funds to them. And of course, maybe people who want to set up restaurants. There are so many businesses, small businesses, that government can intervene.
But sir, do you know why it is difficult in Nigeria? I know a friend in Germany, and he said everything from the local council. Everything. In Nigeria, no, everything is done from the top.
That's why we are
done
talking
from
now.
The states.
That's why I want you to bring out.
Yes.
I'm not a witch. I didn't know. Maybe it's the spirit that brought this. So please give us that experience, so that it doesn't seem as if we are just talking from the.
So you come as a migrant to Germany. Your interaction is with the local council. You have accommodation problem, it is a council. You have job problem, it is a council. Businesses that need support, it is a council. That is how societies are
built.
You cannot sit in Abuja and be solving the problems of 200 million people. In fact, there's a projection that by 2050, we should be getting close to almost 250 or 280. It is impossible to run a society like that. So we must decentralize power in real terms, not in political terms, where the president, the
delegates.
There is a court judgment that money should be coming directly
to the local government.
The local government. But we should go beyond that. We should restructure the way this society is the local council must take, the local government must take greater roles in the development of our communities. All of us live in communities.
Yeah.
We don't live in Abuja.
No way.
All of us live in certain streets. And we want to see that street motorable. We want to see that area secure. So the person that is closest to us is our councillor, but he doesn't have the resources. The chairman doesn't have the resources. He doesn't have the power. He relies on the governor to determine for him what he should do. So that is where I expect the president to concentrate his energy, because he's been progressive in speech. So let him put it in real action.
Yes.
Yeah, let us have your take.
Yes, I was saying that I asked a question that what have we gained from the removal of subsidy? And I want to portion a point that you raised, that subsidy can never be addressed. It's a lie. Subsidy belongs to Nigeria. It is only the subsidy was taken for the poor to give to the rich and political appointees. Yeah. That is not how it's supposed to be. Okay. Because today, as I said in another program, each of these people you say that are representing us, some of them get 20,000 liters of fuel monthly. They don't use it, they will sell in this country. The cars they are buying today that runs into 160 million, it is subsidy money. The presidential jet, yacht, all these things they are buying, traveling all over the world, is issue of subsidy. They are not using their money. So if we who gave the mandate to represent us and enjoy so enormous subsidy, why shouldn't we who voted for them not enjoy the minutest subsidy? So subsidy must come back. That is what Nigeria should demand for. Subsidy must come back. There is no problem with subsidy. Since they removed the subsidy, there is nobody set up in place like the previous one of Jonathan, where subsidy reinvestment program was introduced. And an eminent Nigeria, in the person of Dr. Christopher Kolade, was appointed to oversee the money. Today, nobody is asking any question. There's no organ set up to manage the resources. Nobody even knows how much is being generated or has been generated
as a result of the subsidy.
The result of the subsidy.
And where is going?
Where is going?
What usage?
What is it used for? And again, we are still borrowing as if subsidy has not yielded anything. Nigeria must ask question: what have we gained from the removal of subsidy? What has the money been used for? Why are we still borrowing when enormous money has come in through the removal of subsidy? Because we were told that the reason we Nigerians were borrowing was because of the subsidy, that so much money was going into subsidy. The subsidy should be returned so that things will be easy. As I've said before, many shops are shutting down. If you are running a salon today, a liter of fuel, 1,300 in some places. It is only in Lagos that is cheap.
Let us now see how government can boost the economy in 2020. I'm coming to you, Victor. How government can boost the economy in 2025 to make life easy for people? Is there a quick fix? Because we all agree that government has thrown so many policies at us, the people, and of course is biting and stressing us. If we want to breathe, how can we breathe? Your own idea.
Yes, government can do that first. The subsidy, I will not remove my mind from it.
Yes,
it be restored. If it is restored and we are buying a liter of fuel for 180, that man operating a barber salon, a salon will easily continue with his business, because people will come and barb hair at say 500 or 300 today. In the remotest part of Lagos, cutting hair is about 1,500, 2,000. And because of that, people are wearing bushy hair. They no longer visit that place. Yes, we have people who are selling pure water or that. Because of there's no electricity, they need fuel to power their generator. Energy. Then government should restore in energy. Because we remember that when this government came in, a kilowatts of power, electricity was 66 naira. Today is 66 naira. That is more than 100% increase. In one fell swoop, everything was increased at the same time. That shows an insensitive government. Any government that is sensitive for the plight of the people will not increase everything at the same time. School fees.
The next point.
School fees. School fees before the coming of this government. In some federal university used to be 50,000. Today it's 350,000, 200,000. So indirectly the government is discouraging education. So government must look into the part of the people. The purpose of government is to make life easy for the people, not to suffer the people.
I appreciate you, sir.
So, because he has made so many points, so let me just focus on fighting corruption.
Just one,
yes,
30 seconds for that.
The government police, or look at all of those agencies and ministries and parastatals. They are chief executive officers. They convoy, they move around with. They draw fuel from this system. Go back to Obasanjo's formula. Do monetization. Give them the money. Pay it in their allowances and whatever salary they're getting, and so that the burden doesn't fall on the system, because there's been a lot of corruption in that. I know what I'm talking about.
It's a great time what we have been able to discuss today. I hope it has been an eye-opener too. We just hope that both sides of the divide, that's the government and the people, I'm sure each one of you will pick your own. We, the people, obviously we know that we have to work more on the government. And government too has to work more. You don't look at it that you are in government and you are in power. Power belongs to God and of course those who voted you in. The era of manipulating and playing on people's intelligence is getting out. And just like the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo will say, you can lead the people, you can fool the people all of the time, but you cannot fool the people. You can fool the people some of the time, but you cannot fool the people all of the time. We are getting to the era where all people will not be fooled all of the time anymore. So get wise before it's too late. That's my parting words. Make life easy. It's in the hands of government to create an enabling environment. That's what we are all saying. Look at what you can do. Remove subsidy, reduce taxes, reduce the the electricity tariff, and all these things that are making life difficult for the people. We want to breathe. Give us that space to breathe. That is the program for today, people, and I wish you a great time next week. But before then, don't be against the law. Have a great week ahead. I'm Wale Ogunade, and I want to use this opportunity to thank
so much. Thank you,
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the
my brother.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
We'll enjoy your engagement and your intervention. Till next time again, have a great week ahead.